Come here, arm wrestle me. You win, congratulations. But you just beat a 21st century human. Your opponent is someone who sits in a chair all day, scrolls a phone, and occasionally goes to the gym to lift some metal for an hour. Now switch opponents. A hunter-gatherer from 30,000 years ago. He wakes up on an animal skin every morning. No coffee, no toast. He walks outside and runs 10 kilometers through the wilderness. He tracks a deer. He faces it at close range with a spear, tipped with stone. He drags 200 kilograms of animal back to camp. And then, if he is lucky today, he gets to eat one meal. Now that arm wrestle. Are you still confident you would win? You have heard it 100 times. Ancient humans were built differently. They were stronger, faster, tougher. They wrestled mammoths and carried boulders. We are soft, weak, modern shadows of our former selves. It is a good story. But the bones tell a more complicated truth. Let us start with the hardest data we have. Bones. Bones are the most honest part of the body. Muscles can lie, fat can lie, but bone records every force your body has ever endured, right into its own structure. This is the basic principle of skeletal functional adaptation. It is simple physics. The more stress a bone experiences, the more it grows to resist that stress. The same way, a muscle tears and grows back stronger when you exercise. Bone adds density and thickness in areas that carry heavier loads. A 2015 study by Dr. C. B. Ruff at the University of Missouri, published in Nature, compared femur strength across species from Australopithecus to modern humans. The femur is your thigh bone, the largest bone in your body. It bears your entire body weight every time you take a step. Ruff's team analyzed hundreds of fossil femurs spanning 4 million years of evolutionary history. The results are fascinating. Femur strength was very high 4 million years ago. Then it declined steadily over the last 2 million years, especially from the late Pleistocene to the modern era. The drop is dramatic. Modern human femurs are only 50 to 60% as strong as those of Pleistocene hunter-gatherers at resisting bending and twisting forces. Literally, half as strong as the bones of your ancestors. But here is where it gets interesting. Bone strength and muscle strength are not a one-to-one relationship. Bone adapts slowly, over years and decades. Muscle can change in weeks. When you start lifting weights, your muscles get stronger first. Your bones take months to catch up. When you stop lifting, your muscles shrink first. Your bones hold their density longer. This lag means that bone strength is a record of your lifetime physical activity, not just your current fitness level. An ancient human who had been active since childhood would have bones that reflected a lifetime of stress. A modern human who started exercising in their 20s would have bones that only partially reflect their current activity. A 2014 study by Dr. Eric Trinkaus at Washington University in St. Louis, published in the Journal of Human Evolution, analyzed the upper limb bones of Neanderthals and early modern humans. The arms and shoulders. Trinkaus found that Neanderthal upper limb bones were exceptionally robust, especially on the right side. The right arm bone of a Neanderthal was so thick and dense that it looks almost deformed compared to a modern human bone. Trinkaus said, "This pattern of one-sided robusticity is not genetic. It is developmental. It comes from doing the same thing over and over from childhood." What thing? Throwing. Neanderthal children started practicing spear throwing from a young age. You do not learn to throw a spear accurately as an adult. You learn as a child. The same way you learn to throw a baseball. The thickness of your right arm bone records how many times you have thrown something in your life. The right upper limb bones of Neanderthals are so robust that modern humans simply cannot reach that level. Not because we cannot be that strong, because we do not do those things anymore. We do not spend our childhoods throwing spears. We spend our childhoods throwing pencils, throwing balls in organized sports for 1 hour a week. Let me ask you something. Were ancient humans actually stronger than us? The answer is not a simple yes or no. Let us distinguish between two different kinds of strength. Strength versus endurance. These are two different physiological systems. Strength is how much force you can produce in a single effort. Endurance is how long you can sustain producing that force. A weightlifter has high strength. A marathon runner has high endurance. A 2017 study by Dr. Ian Wallace at Arizona State University, published in the American Journal of Physical Anthropology, analyzed how lower limb bone strength changed from early hominins to modern humans. The study found a dramatic two-phase pattern. Hunter-gatherers, who represent over 99% of human history, had extremely strong lower limb bones because they were walking, running, and climbing constantly. Wallace's data showed that early Homo sapiens had femurs and tibias that were 50 to 65% stronger in compression and bending than modern humans. The difference was not small, but when humans switched to agriculture around 10,000 years ago, everything changed. Settled life meant smaller territories. Food sources became stable. People no longer needed to walk 10 to 15 kilometers a day to find food. Lower limb bone strength dropped significantly across every population that made the transition. But here is the surprise. Upper limb bone strength actually increased in some agricultural populations. Why? Farming, harvesting, planting, grinding grain. These are repetitive upper limb tasks that load the arms, shoulders, and hands in ways that hunting and gathering did not. A woman grinding grain on a stone quern for 3 hours a day was building arm bone density that exceeded most modern athletes. The agricultural revolution did not make humans weaker overall. It shifted strength from the lower body to the upper body. This pattern is visible in the archaeological record across every continent where agriculture was adopted. A 2018 study by Dr. Colin Shaw at the University of Cambridge, published in PNAS, compared the bone strength of modern athletes to ancient hunter-gatherers. The results were unexpected. The tibia of modern professional long-distance runners is comparable in strength to that of ancient hunter-gatherers. Years of high-impact running had built bones that matched the ancestral condition. But the upper limb bone strength of modern fitness enthusiasts is actually higher than that of ancient hunter-gatherers. Modern athletes who specialize in upper body strength can exceed the bone density of ancient humans in those specific bones, but they cannot match them across the entire skeleton. Ancient human strength in water, running, carrying, and throwing. Not strength in bench, pressing, bicep curling, or lat pull-downs. The ancient human body was a generalist. The modern athlete body is a specialist. A generalist can do everything adequately. A specialist excels at one thing but struggles at everything else. Now, let us talk about Neanderthal body structure in more detail. Neanderthals split from our common ancestor around 700,000 years ago. Their body structure was very different from ours. A 21/5 book by Dr. Stephen Churchill at Duke University, Thin on the Ground, Neanderthal Biology, Archaeology and Ecology, describes Neanderthal body structure in detail. Stocky, short, thick limbs, wide ribcage, heavy pelvis, large joints. This body type is called a high-latitude adaptation, similar to modern Inuit people in the Arctic. Short, thick limbs have a smaller surface area. They lose less heat. They retain warmth. Better Neanderthals lived in Ice Age Europe for hundreds of thousands of years, through multiple glacial cycles. Their bodies were designed for cold and power, not endurance. They were built for short, explosive bursts of strength, ambush hunting at close range. A Neanderthal could generate extreme force in a short burst, enough to drive a wooden spear through the thick hide of a mammoth. But they could not run a marathon. Their body was optimized for power, not for sustained effort. This distinction matters because it challenges the idea that ancient humans were uniformly stronger. Neanderthals were stronger in the upper body than most modern humans. But Homo sapiens, our own species, was built for endurance. We have longer legs, narrower bodies, and better cooling systems. We are not as strong as Neanderthals in raw power, but we can run them into the ground. After a day of chasing, the Neanderthal would be exhausted while the Homo sapiens would still be going. A 2014 analysis by Dr. David E. Laberman at Harvard University, published in Current Sports Medicine Reports, titled, "Is Exercise Really Medicine?" An evolutionary perspective makes the point clearly. Lieberman says that the human skeleton has become gracile or slender over evolutionary time. The early hominin known as Lucy Australopithecus afarensis from 3.2 million years ago had much more robust bones than modern humans, but not necessarily because she was stronger. Because her activity pattern was completely different. She climbed trees, she walked on the ground. She did both. Her body had to adapt to two different mechanical environments simultaneously. Climbing requires strong upper body pulling muscles. Walking requires strong lower body stabilizers. Balancing these two demands made her bones thick and heavy, Today, we do not need to climb trees. Our bones have become lighter, more gracile, more slender, not necessarily weaker, just more specialized for terrestrial bipedal walking. There is another dimension of this story that most people do not think about: female strength in prehistory. The archaeological record has often ignored women because fewer female skeletons survive, because traditional archaeology focused more on what men were doing. But a 2017 study by Dr. Alison McIntosh at the University of Cambridge, published in Nature Communications, changed this. McIntosh analyzed the upper limb bones of women across thousands of years. The pattern was clear. Early agricultural women had upper limb bone strength 30% higher than modern female athletes, 30% higher than modern female athletes who trained specifically for upper body strength. These women were not training, they were living, grinding grain, carrying water, harvesting crops, and processing food with their hands. Day after day, year after year, generation after generation, their bones grew stronger because their lifestyle demanded it. Modern female upper limb bone strength is at the lowest point in recorded history. Not because modern women are weak, because modern technology has eliminated the mechanical stress that builds bone. You no longer need to grind grain with a heavy stone quern, an electric mill does it for you. You no longer need to walk 5 kilometers to fetch water, a faucet does it for you. You no longer need to knead dough by hand for an hour, a machine does it for you. Your bones do not need to be as strong because they do not have to be that as strong quern. Let me throw some not need to walk 5 kilometers to fentig. Peter Ellison at the University of Cambridge, published in Current Anthropology, compared the aerobic capacity of modern hunter-gatherers and modern urban residents. VO2 max, or maximum oxygen uptake, is the gold standard measure of cardiovascular fitness. Hadza, hunter-gatherer men average about 52 milliliters per kilogram per minute. Modern sedentary office workers average about 35 to 40. That is a 30% difference in cardiovascular fitness. But here is the twist. Modern professional endurance athletes can reach 70 or even 80. So it is not that modern humans are incapable of high fitness. It is that we have choice in what to train, choice in what to let go. Ancient humans had no choice, their lifestyle was the training. The default setting of our lifestyle is sedentary. That different athletes can reach 70. Their bodies would adapt within a year. Their bone density would increase, their cardiovascular fitness would rise, their grip strength would double. The potential for strength is still in your genes. You just are not using it. But there is an even more important question. Everything we have talked about so far is about bone. What about muscle? The relationship between muscle strength and bone strength is more complex than you think. A 2016 study by Dr. Jeremy De Silva at University College London, published in Royal Society, Open Science, examined the lower limb anatomy of modern chimpanzees and humans. It found that chimpanzee calf muscles, particularly the soleus, have a physiological cross-sectional area several times larger than humans, not a little larger, several times larger, because chimpanzees need to climb trees. They need explosive power for vertical jumping and pulling themselves upward. Humans do not need to climb trees anymore. But we evolved better long-distance walking and running ability, not stronger, better adapted. Human muscle fiber composition also tells a revealing story. A 2014 study by Dr. Duker, Roland Thordarson at the University of Copenhagen, published in the Journal of Physiology, compared the muscle fiber type distribution of modern sedentary people and modern trained people. It found that training can significantly change your muscle fiber composition, shifting from slow twitch type 1 fibers to fast twitch type 2 fibers, or the reverse. This plasticity means that your muscle composition is not fixed. It changes based on what you do every day. So what about ancient hunter-gatherer muscle fiber composition? A 2019 study by the Lieberman team at Harvard University analyzed the muscle fiber composition of Hadza hunter-gatherers in East Africa. They found that Hadza men have a muscle fiber composition very similar to modern endurance athletes, predominantly type 1 slow twitch fibers, suitable for long-distance walking, not the type 2 fast twitch fibers suitable for long-distance walking and persistence hunting, not the type 2 fast twitch fibers suitable for long distances. It is a completely different kind of circuits. One had burst suitabet optimized for a completely different kind of life. Let me tell you something you might not know about. Hands, a 2015 study by Dr. Alistair Key at the University of Kent, measured the grip strength required for different types of stone tool use. Even simple cutting tasks require grip force, far exceeding what non-human primates can generate. Ancient human hands were not just strong, they were precise. The grip required to make a stone tool is not a crushing grip. It is a precision grip that requires fine motor control combined with significant force. This combination is unique to humans, modern people who work with their hands. Carpenters, mechanics, rock climbers develop grip strength comparable to ancient humans. But the average office worker has grip strength that is about half of what a hunter-gatherer would have had. A 2018 study by the University of Cambridge analyzed the hand bones of medieval and modern populations. They found that modern humans have significantly less robust hand bones than medieval humans. Not because we evolved weaker hands, because we stopped using our hands for heavy labor. Your hands today are designed for typing and swiping, but not for gripping stone tools and grinding grain. Your smartphone is reshaping your hand bones right now. Just as the hand axe did for your ancestors, you just cannot see it because the change happens over a lifetime, not a generation. Now let me tell you the part of the story that changes everything. The one thing ancient humans could definitely do that we cannot. Not running faster, not lifting more, not throwing harder. It is this. Ancient humans could recover. Modern humans, especially those in industrialized societies, have a recovery problem. We push our bodies during exercise, but we never fully recover because we are constantly stressed, constantly sleep-deprived, constantly exposed to artificial light and noise. Ancient humans had periods of intense physical exertion, followed by periods of genuine rest. Their bodies had time to repair, rebuild, and strengthen. A 2012 study by Dr. Herman Poncer at Hunter College, published in PLOS One, measured the total energy expenditure of Hadza hunter-gatherers. The surprising finding was that Hadza hunter-gatherers do not burn more calories per day than modern sedentary people. They burn about the same, but they are physically active for much longer portions of the day. They walk moderate distances, do light work, and rest frequently. Their physical activity is not a one-hour gym session. It is a continuous, low-grade movement punctuated by short bursts of intense effort. This pattern, consistent movement with adequate recovery, may be the real secret of ancient human strength. Not raw power, consistency, resilience, the ability to keep going day after day, year after year. Without breaking down, let me give you another angle. Collagen, bone is not just mineral. It is a composite material made of collagen, protein, and calcium phosphate crystals. The collagen gives bone its flexibility. The mineral gives bone its hardness. A 2016 study by Dr. Melinda K. Knudsen at the University of Iowa analyzed the collagen content of ancient versus modern human bone. She found that ancient human bone had a higher collagen to mineral ratio. This made their bones more flexible and less likely to fracture under stress. Modern human bone, with its lower collagen content, is more brittle. When modern humans fall, their bones are more likely to break. When ancient humans fell, their bones bent. This difference is not genetic, it is mechanical. Bone adapts its collagen content based on the types of stress it experiences. Varied stress across multiple directions stimulates collagen production. Repetitive stress in a single direction does not. Ancient human bones experienced multi-directional stress from varied physical activities. Modern human bones experience repetitive stress from walking on flat surfaces and sitting in chairs. Your bones are more brittle not because of evolution, but because of the monotonous mechanical environment of modern life. So let me sum this up. Were ancient humans stronger than modern humans? The answer is yes, in specific ways. And no, they were more professional stronger than your modern people. They had significantly higher grip strength. Their bones were more flexible and less likely to fracture. There's modern training is specialized. Ancient humans were not stronger because they were genetically superior. They were stronger of not marathon runner can run faster. It was not optimized for any single task. It was optimized for any single task. It was optimized for any single task. It was not whether ancient humans were stronger than you poor. The question is whether you are as strong as you could be. They were stronger because they were genetically superior. They were stronger because they were genetically superior. They were stronger because modern training is specialist. Ancient humans were stronger in strength. They were stother and bestative were stronger. They were stother honor team pet net nesserat. Because modern find their cret mit, the rendestrit, the render aspiter rather author. Running, carrying, digging, throwing. Your skeletal structure was shaped in a completely different world. A world without chairs, without supermarkets, without food delivery apps. Every meal was earned with your feet, with your hands, with your body. 2 million years. That is, how long the human body was shaped by the demand for movement. 2 million years of walking every day, running every day, carrying things every day. In the last 10,000 years, we started settling down in the last 200 years. The Industrial Revolution freed us from physical labor. In the last 20 years, you spend 8 to 10 hours a day sitting. Your body does not know what is happening. It is still running on the rules from 2 million years ago. It thinks you are still out on the savannah chasing deer. You give it a signal. Metabolism goes wrong. Cardiovascular problems appear. Bone density drops. Muscle atrophies. Weaker than your ancestors is not destiny. It is choice. It is environment. It is your lifestyle sending your body a signal. You can choose to stand up, walk out, move. Your bones are not permanently weak. They can get stronger. But it takes time. It takes load. It takes consistent stress. The way it has happened for 2 million years. Your ancestors were not born strong. They live strong every single day of their lives. Your weaknesses is not genetic. It is a signal. Your body is asking consistent stress now.